Next to him, Dan Simon. Welcome, Dan. Dan's a highly experienced transformative mediator and trainer. He's the chair of the ADR section this year, and he's also a member of the Supreme Court ADR Ethics Board. I also believe Dan was the first mediator who was certified as a transformative mediator for the Postal Service, which is not the Rule 114. There's no certifying there, but so, yeah.
The way I see my role as a mediator in a commercial case, or any case for that matter, is that I have the potential to help the parties have a higher quality conversation than they've had in a while. I do not see achievement of settlement as my goal. I see it as a wonderful side effect of a really good conversation, because when people have a chance to get as much information as possible from each other, and they have a chance to express some of the anger to the extent that that's part of the story, they get to a place where they're able to just do better problem solving and make better choices about settlements. And I wouldn't want them to settle because I was really good at getting them to settle. I want them to settle because they've had the kind of conversation that allows them to feel good themselves of their own volition, fully self-determined, in coming to a settlement. From what I've heard from anecdotes, and unfortunately I don't have any anecdotes from these two mediators themselves, but what I've heard about other commercial cases is that the assumption is that the parties generally don't talk to each other. Again, I'm hearing that that's not necessarily the case with these two, but I guess that's the thing that I'm most concerned about out there, that it seems from the rumors I hear that there are mediators who are very focused on settlement as the outcome and not so much on the quality of the conversation between the parties. In fact, the assumption is that any talking directly between the parties can do harm and it can get escalated, and so better just to keep them separate. Again, I feel the temptation myself to feel like I'm working for the lawyers. And if I hear from a lawyer that, well, listen, my client's a little unreasonable on this issue, they have exaggerated hopes about that they can prove the breach of contract or whatever, and he doesn't believe me, you got to tell him, I might be tempted to get on that lawyer's side and work on his client with them. And that, for me, that's a betrayal of my client there. To me, it's in order to keep my process as potentially helpful as I hope it to be, it's got to be about me without any hidden agendas from anybody, and me consistently supporting the conversation, which hopefully the thing that I'm attached to mediation providing that is different is client control in the opposite sense, that clients control, that it's possible to provide a process where they are completely in charge of how it goes, and they get support for that. I don't know if it's true, but I think it is. My generalization about what inspires people to come see a mediator is kind of, as you suggested, John, that they don't know what to do. They got mixed feelings. They've got this moral dilemma. Do I fight to the death on this thing? Do I cave in? Neither of those sounds very good. Do I offer something right now, or is it too early to make a concession? Do I tell that guy what I really think of him, how he cheated and lied, and I thought we were going to be friends, but he is costing me $500,000 with this lie he told me? What do? I think they're in a world of uncertainty, and I think that what we can provide as mediators is an opportunity for them to get clearer about what does matter to them. And also, given that the other side is probably in a similar world of confusion, we can help that side do it as well, and then we can help them clear up their confusion about just how evil the other side is, because they seem a little bit evil if you're suing them or being sued by them. They may be a little bit evil, but probably you could probably have a better understanding of exactly where they're coming from with a good conversation. The downside, mediators do tend to neglect the upside, and so in terms of a process where they are making the best possible decisions based on real information, I don't want my clients to be exposed to a guy who's pushing in a certain direction.
Right, I don't
so,
either.
Yeah.
So Dan, would you be more satisfied with a mediation that ends without a settlement, with both sides walking out saying, I heard and now understand who that person is?
Mm-hmm.
My way of evaluating a session is whether I remained kind of consistently true to my intention to support the conversation, and I don't know where it's going to end up ever. And settlements are wonderful, and feeling like they were understood is wonderful, but it's really up to them what they're going to get out of the conversation. So it's up to them to evaluate whether they got someplace better or not, as I see it.